Are Lunds good boats? That's a question that we're going to answer today. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great video. I'm Captain Matt, the host of the Boat Buyer Secret Weapon channel, author of the book Boat Buyer Secret Weapon, and we are going to dive in and answer this question for you. So let's take a look at the history of Lund boats. They were founded in 1948 by Howard Lund, New York Mills, Minnesota. They started building pontoons in the 90s. They were acquired by Brunswick in 2004, but they're still built in the same area, New York Mills, Minnesota. Take a look at some of the models they have. They've got a diverse lineup of boats. So they've got deep Vs, modified Vs, tiller handles. They've got basic John boats. You can see $1,200 for a John boat. Tiller handles, bass boats, multi-species, big water walleye, muskie boats, as well as you can see this GL series are their fiberglass line. They've got two fiberglass lines. They've got a 22-footer, the 2275 Baron, that's over $100,000 as the starting price. So you can see they build a wide range of boats. They're also Brunswick owns Lund, but they also own Lowe and Crestliner. Now, just because Brunswick owns them, they own Sea Ray, they own Boston Whaler, they own Bayliner. So they don't, just because Brunswick owns them doesn't mean that they're built the same. Each one's built in their own area and they have their own distinct style. Kind of the way that when they acquired them, what they were doing good is what they kept in line. They have their own management teams and all that. Obviously, they're all going to be powered with Mercury because of that. So the question that we started with are Lunds good boats? And the answer is yes, they are. They're a premium brand boat. We cover it all as we compare the different aluminum fishing boat brands. I go to a boat show and I research, take pictures, and I bring that all back to you. So check that out. It's a video you'll definitely want to look at if you're considering an aluminum fishing boat. So let's take a look at what does it look like for the build style. First of all, Lund is a riveted boat. They use rivets in their construction versus a welding. I'm not going to get into the positives and negatives. I'll do a video on that as well that you can check out. But they use 0.08 to 0.143 gauge thickness of the aluminum. So pretty good quality thickness, and they adjust depending on where they're using that. Couple things about the construction. They use an I-beam construction, which is going to give them a more solid hull and a better ride. I think, in my opinion, depending on the gauge, but Lund uses a good heavy gauge, I-beam and hat channels are two of the strongest level of constructions that you can do because you've got more area to weld on both sides, top and bottom, and a nice solid base for that. Think of it as the backbone of the boat in that stringer system. Premium hardware and material. So they use double riveted constructions, not just riveted. Now they're doing robotic rivets. I'm not sure when they made the switch. So if you're looking at a used Lund, keep that in mind. They do use a foam-filled construction for safety. Now, unlike some manufacturers that just put foam in it, they're actually using a foam shot, which they spray the foam in with two different chemicals, and it's going to bond chemically and expand. And that way they can fill in all of the cracks and crevices. Better flotation, better noise dampening. That equals a more solid ride. You can feel it when you're running a Lund. They also double plate the hull construction for the first third of the boat. So, that gauge is doubled up and double riveted on the hull surface. That's where most of the torque and the flex can be. And it gives you a more solid boat for the long haul, less likely to puncture. And they use good solid hinges, latches, and switches. They do a flat performance pad, which gives you quicker planing. It gives basically cleaner water to the prop with the way they design it. And most brands have a similar patented technique that they use. They're all very close, though. They do have a reverse chine, which is going to give you a more dry ride and a more stable ride. The chine is the end of the boat. So you can think of the V-hull like this. If it continued up, that boat would be kind of tippy. But they use a reverse chine at the very edge, which is one, going to splash the water down to give you a drier ride. But it's also, when you turn, it's going to keep the boat from just continuing to bank and bank and bank. It kind of gives it an edge to ride on and carve around a corner. Again, a lot of manufacturers use it, but Lund uses that reverse chine as well. A detail and clean finish on their interior. They have nice interiors, basically, and exteriors. They've used thicker aluminum on the flooring and hatches and casting platforms. So over time, I'm 225, and over time, I can make the aluminum kind of bend and crinkle, and they call it oil canning. Every time an aluminum piece bends, well, it weakens it over time. Just like if I was to do it to this can, like my daughters do with their soda cans, is eventually it's going to crack, and it's going to cause problems. So the thicker that is, the more you can avoid it with bracing, the better, especially on those casting platforms. Gaskets, heavy-duty gas shocks for their compartments, keeping the water out, keeping the lids up when you're putting your rods away, things like that. They do have nice large rod holders. Varies model by model, and as we said, they've got a very large range from $1,300 to over $100,000 in price tag. So that's going to adjust, but they do have a good amount of storage overall in the brand. Premium brand is going to equal a premium price, right? We all get what we pay for. We know that's very true in the boat world. I talk about it all the time. So if you're considering a Lund, you'll want to check out. So if you're considering aluminum fishing boat, you want to get my Boat Buyers Toolkit. You can grab my book as well. It's available at Amazon, but this is free at boatbuyerstoolkit.com. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Definitely check out that best and worst aluminum fishing boat video. You'll find that very valuable. If you got a question, give me a comment down below. If you own a Lund, let us know the year, make, and model, and tell us what your opinion is. What's been your experience, so we can share that with the community. Thanks a lot. And remember, life truly is better on a boat.